I have a few thoughts about clutching that I wanna talk about, and I don't claim to be a clutch god or have like anything groundbreaking here, but I can claim to have a couple of ideas that might be useful, especially if you feel super unsure about clutching. Then it's gonna be a jumping off point to, or even to deepen like your own thought about why do the things that you do. First of all, you don't always need to clutch. Saving is fine if it makes sense, but the premise of this video is you already decided to go for it, and it's no one should, like, realistically the deck is stacked against you by a lot, and no one should win a 1v3 without mistakes from the enemy. And but everyone makes mistakes, so we're not too worried about that, especially at this level. But there's two different routes when you decide to go for it that you can take, in my opinion. And one is going fast enough that the enemy team doesn't have time to come up with a decent plan, take decent positions, decide what they want to do, how they want to play it, and then just like trying to speed up and take that quick initiative to either pin them down or do something else, just like keep that violence of action alive, to keep them unsure and uncomfortable, and to try and force those mistakes out that way, and basically rely on your faster decision making and mechanics to take care of it. And the other way is to take a second and come up with a plan that is better than theirs. Say, if they're, and this requires a bit of space and time to work, but like if they're down here and they smoke this, they're planting in the smoke, this is open, like, and you have a full set of nades, like you could just rush in, or you can realize that I have a chance to isolate these fights. I have a chance to find these players one by one, to fuck, to you know, punish them for taking positions that are not that tradable if I play my cards right. And that's, well, that's in CT post plan. That's maybe harder to do in that retake position than as a terrorist, where you have more space to play with information. And that's like the basic two approaches to clutching, in my opinion. And the things that go into what you're actually gonna do are well, you need a few things. One is you need a plan. Very few clutches come out without an idea of what you're gonna do. This is what I see a lot of clutches like fail due to, is they have the bomb and you're just coming out here like, well, I don't know. I clear this and maybe I'll go down. No. You're just like unsure and you're wondering, and you're taking all this time, and in that time the enemy is clearing out shit. Like, if they don't have bomb, they're checking out there is infinite yard, secrets clear, and they're gonna start sooner or later, they're gonna start to coalesce on your position and find that 2v1 3v1 firefight against you. So you need to find a way to make a plan. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be a plan. And you're gonna have to take risks to get it done. Like, if you're here and you know there's probably someone holding here, you You can just it doesn't like do the thing that you want to do, and just try and make it work. Otherwise, if you're not the active party, you're giving up initiative to them, and you should always be pressing the advantage you have in a competitive sport or activity that you do. And in this case, one of the advantages that you have is that as an individual, just one person, you have essentially perfect cohesion in what you're doing, whereas they are prone to miscommunications, mistimings, misfires in their teamwork, and by executing a plan that is actually a plan instead of just random shit, you're taking advantage of that. The second thing, apart from a plan you need, is ways to isolate your fights. Of course, you can sit here in a post plant as they're coming through ramp with 3 and one shot them all in mid-air, but that's probably not gonna happen. So what you need is ways to make that 1v3 and make it into a 1v1 and a 1v1 and a 1v1. And there's a few ways to do this. One is pushing into them, say either with the bonus down or not, but just like finding this kind of trying to find someone alone, mid rotate. Maybe they're maybe they have the bomb somewhere and you can take an unexpected route, or maybe you can take a route that allows you to clear out angles one by one, where you can take this and then you can clear this without being that guy seeing you anymore. In a firefight like they're pre-taking, it can mean playing around something like this that you can peek in and out of, and they can't. It's gonna be hard for them to fight you all together. It can mean using utility to oh, that's a horrible smoke. Using utility to create angles that didn't exist before, and being surprising with it, and finding those kinds of like cheeky little plays. But the important thing is, like, and this is something that comes with time and experience, is the intuition on how you can isolate those fights. And it's just something that you need to keep in mind, but over time in a clutch situation it should become just like a reflex of oh I'm in a 1v2, 1v3, I need to find 1v1s. And then is timing and playing with timing. And what I mean, and this is also like ties into information. Timing and information are in part the same thing, not like a full overlap, but timing is information, and information feeds timing. And say you're alone and you've last been seen in secret, and now you can start, if you have a lot of time, you can, if you manage to get out of here, you can start playing with the time, and this is where like the information feeds into it in two ways. One is, the longer that goes without them seeing you, the more places you can be, unless they're spotting the crosses and angles and stuff like that. So if you manage to avoid their information gathering for a while, that means that they have to be worried about more places, and you have better chances to surprise someone. The other thing is that what was I saying about the information and timing? The other thing is that you can be faster than they expect or slower than they expect and create phantom threats. Say they last seen you on ramp, and now you can just like go full bore towards heaven here, but if you chill for a moment and you clear a little bit of something and don't find anyone, then that's going to mean that they're gonna have to start worrying about the other places that you could have gone to. Like now they have to worry about ramp as well, or you coming back, doubling back. Soon they're gonna have to worry about you going outside. They're gonna have to worry about you walking squeaky if it's destroyed. And you can use that. Their need to get information, you can use that to your advantage as well by, like, say, taking an off angle somewhere and just like getting that one pick if they go for it. And that's part of like letting them make a plan and or like you making a plan, resetting to play slow and taking advantage of any mistakes they make. And what I mean is by timing that's faster than you'd think is if you were silo, you cleared yard, or you cleared yard, and the last guys, let's say, are last in ramp and I don't know, heaven maybe or whatever it is you can, well, in that case you wouldn't need to flash this, but like just taking the risk about your visible or like the footsteps and how far they can be heard, and try to make it to somewhere that they don't expect you to be yet. So if you're here, then just taking this insane risk to like make it here before the guy heaven peeks you, and then maybe you can crawl out here and surprise them. Then there's many ways to find an advantage, you know, like in terms of isolation as well. You don't always need to necessarily make it a 1v1 and another 1v1 either in a like a 1v2, if you can manage to simply shoot them both in the back. And this is hard to find or chances for, but like if you manage to get yourself into a spot that is seldom checked, or where you can come out on timing, then it's possible to just surprise them while they're clearing something else and getting it like that. Say you're just crouching here, and then they're both coming from ramp. Then as they're clearing, like one guy's watching there, the other guy's worried about single or control or something, then potentially like swing out, like getting both of those kills. There's a million ways to play any given clutch, generally, and you're just gonna have to find a style that works for you. Feeling comfortable in a clutch is super important in my opinion. Counter-Strike is very much a psychological game, a confidence game, and you need to find a way to make plays that feel good to you, feel like they have to feel like they give you a chance of winning. Back to timing a bit, in terms of like, yeah, you need to know what they can do, as well as realizing what they know that you can do, or what they think you can do. And that is like if someone was spotted like watching ramp from hell, you need to be aware that they can be a window, or they can be in ZywOo, and just like realizing that they are also have legs, and not treat them as static bots. That's something that gets a lot of people like killed when they hear, oh, one was hell or whatever, and then like 10-15 seconds later they get shot from here, and it's like, no, he was CT, you idiot. Well, you know, has legs, will travel. I had something else in mind. Oh yeah, be surprising if you can. Sometimes in a clutch, doing the dumping is smart, and I don't mean that in the way that I often make fun of, where like if it works, it's not dumb. If it worked, so obvious it was the right play. No, it just means that in a clutch situation where you're at a disadvantage anyway, that calculus changes, and just going by the book, playing like the expected values of plays change compared to like a 4v4 situation. Like I was playing Nuke today, and it wasn't a clutch, but like in a late round, I think it was like 2v1, 3v1 for us. But like I was watching Yard, and I just came out here because I got told that they're in a like lobby-ish, and the reason this is worked out, it is such an unexpected angle, and I can just like watch this, and then I had a horrible spray, and it took so long for this guy to realize where I was that it didn't matter. It worked out for me anyway, and this is a horrible spot to like play unsupported. Like if even in a like at the start of the round, if you manage to somehow get here fast enough, then if two people go silo, you're fucked. If someone flashes you, you're fucked. Like say they're even trying to just flash like credit card here. It's they peek that, and by the time they realize you're here, I mean you're probably still blind. Too blind to fight. And that's like, I mean, the expected value changes. Like if I'm here at the start of the round, I expect to maybe get one and die. Horrible calculus does not work out for me, CT side. Not gonna do it. Late round, where I only need to worry about one guy who's trying to not make sound. Like if you're in a 1v1 and the bomb is like there somewhere here, and you know they're probably there, you can like take a stupid ass position that they wouldn't expect. Well, maybe not that in that case, but like, or even like the angles that you take that you wouldn't clear from here in a regular round, but in a 1v1, if the bombs drop there and you know there's an op, then you can take like an unexpected angle to try and deal with it. And that's what I mean by like the math is different. Just like this shouldn't really be have to said, but you have to manage the information that you're giving the enemy team as well. Where like if I'm gonna come outside and the bombs dropped in main or mini for you Americans. Well, I'm just gonna flash like here. I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna run here. I'm gonna flash there. Like, you're done. There's no way you're winning this round. But so just like, or even like scoping here, where I could have come in and scoped way further. Instead of here where they hear me in here. Just like stuff like that, being aware of the noises you make. But it also like calculated risks also exist though. Like if the bombs dropped here and your T coming for it, then there's really only like a couple of ways they can, like let's say it's a 1v1, 1v2. They're gonna have someone maybe playing side here, or like watching that way and the one guy watching this way, and you're gonna have a horrible time trying to deal with it. Perhaps what you can, it's fine to like give out this little, just like if you're making an educated guess to give yourself an advantage on the engagement that is likely to happen, then that's a perfectly fine risk to take. You're not gonna be able to clutch without taking risks, essentially. I think that's the thoughts I have about clutching right now. If something else comes to mind that's important, just maybe I'll make another video and touch on it there.